Hello, class. The loop actually, most of the times, it has three parts. Usually has three parts. One is initialization, then we have condition, and then we have a modifier, which usually is increment or decrement or any common condition, statement in expression that modifies the condition actually. So in for loop, it's easy to understand the syntax. You write for, the word for, then you start with the function bracket and end with a function bracket. And then it has these curly braces, and within them, this straight line that you see is, this line that you see is actually the instructions that are to execute till this loop is executing. So practically, in here, we do the initialization. When we code, we will come to understand what is initialization of a certain variable. We give it a initial value. And once that is done, it enters the loop. And the conditions is checked continuously on each iteration. This condition is checked. This is the condition. And it comes here. And don't forget the semicolons, where you have to put two semicolons. If you just omit this condition and put the semicolon, this loop still works. And you can omit the initialization part and put it outside. It still works. The problem is, if you do not have a condition, the loops will keep iterating and won't end. So within your code here, you will have to check the conditions yourself and end the loop using the break keyword that we studied in the switch statement previously. The same keyword is going to be used. Then we have the modifier. It actually, this is a complete statement, a kind of an assignment or with increment or decrement of something, some variable. Its value is changed here, and then the condition is checked again if that has met the number of iterations that we have decided or not. So this is the first loop that we are going to study, the for loop. And then after that, we will be studying the while loop. While loop actually also has the three parts. Pretty much every loop has three parts. So it has initialization. If you do have initialization, fine enough. If you don't, then you will have to check the conditions here and simply break it. But in here, you cannot leave this empty. If you need to create an infinite loop where you want to check the condition within this body of this loop, then you will have to check yourself with the if statement and then break. Put a break to break the loops. One more thing, if you have only one statement that is to execute here, you don't need these curly braces, just like the way we studied when we were studying if statement. In here as well, if the condition actually itself is a modifier and it or is modifier within the statement here, you don't need these curly braces if it is only one statement. I'll give you examples when we do that. So the very first thing is initialization is outside. In condition comes here. The word while is used. There is the construct, a keyword. And in these function brackets, you have condition. And then in these curly braces or the body of this loop, you have modifier. Let's go to the do while. Okay, do while actually, even if you have a single statement, you will have to add these brackets. These curly brackets are mandatory. It has pretty much the same syntax, initialization, and then condition, and then the modifier within here. First the initialization, then we have modifier within the body, and condition is checked at the end. So you will understand easily, it's easy to understand that do while loop actually does execute at least once. So let's start the coding process, create examples and understand from them. If you did not understand anything here in this visual presentation, let me know. Meet you in the next class.